All right, so we've got Darryl, who's come over from Manchester here today. Been in 19 different prisons, served over 12 years. We're talking knife crime, we're talking gang activity, hardcore Manchester. And at the end of it, we'll get to the work he's doing now, speaking in the schools. If you are out there and you're a school teacher or you are a student and you want Darryl to come into your school, in the description box below this video are going to be all the links, including how to get in touch with Darryl so you can get him booked into your school. So thanks for coming on, Darryl.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to start at the beginning then. What part of Manchester are we talking?
I'm from Moss Side.
Moss Side.
M16.
We used to score there, didn't we?
Yeah.
When we were like raving back in 89, 1991 around then, we used to like go the Thunderdome and the Conspiracy, all those clubs. We'd go through those neighbourhoods.
The kitchen, the empty flats there.
The boring.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you then, growing up in Manchester?
It was all right, to be honest. I like Manchester. I like Liverpool better though. But yeah, it was all right. I come up from a broken home, so obviously it had its downs. But in all lifestyles, you have your ups, you have your downs. So I went through a lot of domestic violence as a young kid. From domestic violence, grew into my teens, went onto the streets and got involved in one of the deadliest wars of this country's generation, gang warfare.
And was that Gunchester? Was that what they call that?
Yeah, I was one of the people, one of the instigators when it was changed from Manchester to Gunchester in the press, so to speak. So I was one of the instigators. I was a known gunman.
What year are we talking about when that kicked off?
Like 1989.
That's exactly when we were raving, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So the guy I live with was a rave DJ out of LA when I met him, and he's from Manchester originally. And he was going to the Hacienda and all these other clubs as well. And he laid it down that it started out with the ecstasy scene, and the gangsters started seeing all the money being made in the ecstasy. And then this war broke out over the Doors, because the Doors controls the drugs.
Yeah, it wasn't, the war that I was involved in was nothing to do with that. First you had a war, Moss Side against Cheetah Mill, Salford, Moss Side, Salford, that kind of thing. But my war started, I come on the back of the late Moss Side, Cheetah Mill. And after that, it was Dodderton against Gooch, which was Pepperell to begin with, because I was from a place called Pepperell. And then years later, the name changed to Doddington. So my main war was with the Gooch.
All right, so a lot of people watching this, they're in America, they don't know what all these terms mean. Can you just explain who the Moss Side gang is and these other gangs, what they are, what they represent?
In Moss Side, there is two estates, both next to each other, both called the Alexander Park Estate. One side was Dodderton territory, one side was Gooch territory. There was just one road that split us into two, called Alexander Road. We had a war. The war went on for over 20 years. There's different reasons why people say the war started, but I grew into the war, so I'm not here to say why it started, but I was willing to kill and be killed to support my brothers in arms. Back then, I thought they was my brothers. I thought they was my mates, they was my family, and along the lines, you see that they ain't your family.
So you said you're like this hardcore soldier then, but going back earlier, what was the first stuff you started to do that was criminal activity?
I used to ride stolen motorbikes when I was 10, 11, 12, then 13, heroin and crack at Moss Side in a big way. So I used to be a runner for some people. So I started, where most started selling weed, I started selling bags of brown. You know, it used to be £15 for a quarter, and I used to sell a 15 bag and get a £5 out of the 15.
Swell people nickel and diming it with the fucking weed. You're making the decent money, aren't you?
Yeah, as long as you was up early in the morning, because the early bird that catches the worm in this game, you need to catch people when they're rattling. So I was always up and out at 6, 7 o'clock before school. Even though I wasn't in school, I was in a project by that time.
So you were like a corner boy. Well,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
what
that
it's
you
called.
would call them corner boys in
Yeah,
a different country, a foot soldier in a
Yeah.
different country. Yeah.
How did it escalate from dealing to violence?
The elders had an argument because we all used to go round together. We was all friends. We went to school and that together. Lots of us. A lot of us stayed at each other's houses, believe it or not. Some elders had a little tit for tat. I'm not going to go into what it was over, but we felt obliged to stick with the elders from our estate rather than go with the elders from the other estate. And
so you just picked your fence and that's it.
yeah, that road divided us, even though we had friends and family on the opposite side of the estate. From the war started.
Now, was it that bad where your friends and family couldn't come round to yours?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad. It was just life. I don't see it as being bad. Do you know? I just see it as
but your family from the other side could actually come and see you.
Yeah.
Without them getting...
A lot of people telling to pick sides. Like if somebody from over that side was seen talking to me, they'd get a beating. And if I'd seen someone that I knew talking to people over the other side of the estate, they'd get a beating.
Yeah. So you watch you talk, so in other words.
Yeah, but I'm one of them people. I do what I want, when I want, and how I want. And that's most probably, my brazenness is most probably why I survived, where a lot of people didn't survive. You know, over 30 friends and family of mine died. And don't forget, over the other side, they was originally my friends. A lot of them died also.
So you lost more generally because you knew them both.
Exactly. And you know what a lot of people think, because I might kill 10 people and you might kill 1 people, that I've won the war. There's no winners in war.
No.
We're both losers. In 1991, me and my friend went to get something to eat in a bakery. 2 of us went in there. 1 of us come out. My mate was gunned down inside the bakery.
Wow. Didn't even wait for him to get out?
Nah, killed him inside the bakery.
That's ruthless, that, like, isn't it?
But that's life, innit? That was war. Do you know it's kill or be killed? Or it was back then.
So how did you go then from just the dealing level and the violence at the lower level to getting access to the guns?
Obviously, they come from the elders to begin with. And then when you become established yourself, you find your own contacts and that to buy, purchase your firearms, your ammunition, your vests.
Because it's a huge surprise to the Americans. Where we were in Arizona, guns were legal. So I had like a shotgun for home protection, I had a Glock. I went off and got a concealed weapons permit. So the police actually train you in shooting, and then you get your concealed weapons permit. How easy was it for you to get these guns then?
It was...
The police don't train you, let's put it that way.
They just got handed down from the elders, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to begin with, it got that handed down from the elders, and then you just went and purchased your own. You knew, everybody knew where to, everybody in this kind of work knew where to get what and what price to pay. So it was just like, it's just like natural progression through the
You don't know what
life.
numbers are on that gun though, do you? You don't know who it's killed, or if the police get hold of it, you could be up for 5 murders you didn't fucking do.
Exactly there. And when I work in schools and I tell kids, you'll never get a clean gun in this country.
No.
Do you know? And if you're arrested with a gun that's been used, you might not get charged with it or convicted, but you're definitely going to get questioned for it. And if you don't keep a diary, you're not got an alibi of where you was when something happens, but you never get a clean gun on the streets of this country.
How old were you when you first handled a gun, and how did that make you feel?
I was 14. An elder gave me a gun and he asked me to do something with it, but the person didn't turn up. If the person would have turned up, I would have done what he asked me to do with it, because I felt like I was a big man, not that I had a gun.
Did they give you any kind of training in it to use it or
No,
anything?
they did. Just give me a 357 and says, use it on this person. Someone was going to come to the Pepperell for a meeting and they didn't turn up.
So say they gave you that gun and he had turned up, and I assume, I know you would have done it, But say in a different scenario, you would have bottled it. What would have happened to you from the elders?
Them also would have used that gun on me.
Really?
Most probably, yeah.
Wow. So as you're rising up the ranks then, what stories have you got of, I know you imagine you probably got a lot, but what could you describe in more detail of the life-threatening situations you were in?
I've been in a number of
Don't
life.
self-incriminate yourself,
Without
by the
any
way.
names or
I've been in
self-incrimination.
a number of life-threatening situations, having people trying to kill me over 70 times. There's been a lot of
70 times.
People have tried to kill me on a lot more than 70 times, but we'll leave it at 70 times. But on 3 of them occasions, I have been shot. The first time, I'm going to be honest, the first time I was going to a food shop and I just put down my gun for the night because I used to carry my gun everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just put it down, hid it in a place for the night. 5 minutes later, pulling up next to this shop, riding through a park, and someone jumped out from behind a tree and started letting off after me. I had a bike. I let the bike roll towards him, turn around, and I got shot underneath my foot, come out the side of my leg.
Yeah.
As I was running, made it round 2 corners, couldn't make it no more.
Honestly, it must be pretty hard to fucking roll with a bullet in your fucking foot.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty painful.
Yeah, scary as fuck too. Like,
it is
butterflies going.
It is pretty painful, but you know what? Every time I've been shot, I've been going towards the people, so that's most of what made me survive.
Yeah.
The second time I got shot, I was released in the morning. I was being questioned for a murder, and I got released without charge. My mate got charged with it. I got released, and I thought because this significant person had been killed, it'd be safe for me to go round because he used to be my mate. I had nothing to do with it, but there was like some in-house fighting.
Yeah.
So I just thought it'd be safe for me to go anywhere. Nobody ain't brave enough to fuck with me. But little did I know, people was brave enough. You know what I mean? You think you're the big bad I am, and nobody, you're untouchable when certain people go. But
Well, the higher you go, the more young bucks are wanting your. They're seeing you dress right, they're seeing you look good, they're seeing your car, and they want some of that, don't they?
definitely, it's like it was a younger element that tried to kill me, and I was shot over 20 times on that occasion. And a girl was shot, come from a pub. My mate asked me 5 minutes before, could he give me a lift home? And I was saying, no, I was giving it a big no one ain't brave enough to fuck with me, drunk and all that, giving it the big end. So I walked through the estate, and little did I know that somebody had already phoned them up to tell them that I was in this pub and I was walking on the way back. So I approached the corner and I seen him, and I held out my hands and says, what? Thinking they wouldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And as you can see through the scars on my arms, they shot me in my arms, my chest, my back. I had a vest on, so it took some of the bullets.
So they weren't, sounds stupid.
And then
they weren't trying to kill you. They didn't go for no headshot.
They was trying to kill me. A bullet glanced off the side of my head here.
Wow.
They tried to kill me because I dropped through the girl on the floor that I was with. She got shot twice. And I was lay on the floor and they were still pumping him into me. And one of them come close to my head, and he must have thought he shot me in the head because it's a bullet skinned off my head, and that's when they got off. There's blood. That's the only one I was worried about. I was still conscious. And when I got up, there's pure blood in my eye and down my face, and I thought that was it.
How long were you in hospital after that one?
I was only in hospital for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last time I got shot, I was speaking to some girls outside a club, about 50 feet away from the first ever time I got shot. And I seen my mate down the road, and he was going like that, waving away, but I thought he was saying, come here.
Oh,
so
right,
I started walking to him.
He's telling you no, go.
Yeah, because he'd seen the people, so I start walking to him, and he had bop, 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 bop. And I got one in my leg then. That's still in there. I got one in the leg, and that caused me some damage. I was in hospital for about 9 months for that. I got MRSA when I was in hospital, which is a flesh-eating infection.
Yeah.
Oh, that MRSA shit.
Yeah, so I had 9 months, I had an external fixator, I had inside pins, but they took the pins out. I had an external fixator for about 18 months, and that bullet's still in there.
At that time, didn't you think, you know what, fuck this, I'm off to live abroad?
Nah, because you know what? After seeing my friend get killed, I vowed to avenge his death, and I vowed to do this until it took my life or all of them was dead. I was willing, that's how far I was willing to go. Nowadays, you don't get loyalty like we did in the old school
No, I was going to say.
era. You know, I tell kids nowadays, your mates ain't going to kill for you. They're not going to die for you. They're not going to go to jail for a life sentence.
You will tell the police on you, though.
Exactly. But I'm one of them people that I would have died for any of my mates, even though was the really mates, because one of them did phone up the people to say I was on my way back from that pub. But you know what? That's in the past, and it is what it is, isn't it? The dynamics of life have brought me.
Yeah,
to
but
the
you couldn't
person
have
I
a
am.
drink with that guy, could you, without looking in his eyes and wanting to kill him, could you?
I've spoke to him since.
Oh, I'd hate me.
I spoke to him since, but you know what? We can't. If we live in hate, then we're not going to fix this broken world, are we? Because there's a lot of people that
It takes a bigger man to do that, like.
It does, but there's a lot of people can say that about me and some of the crimes that I've committed. Not going to go into it, but
Yeah.
there's still people that will hold grudges against me, but leave it for the sake of leaving it and having a peaceful life.
At least you can sleep at ease at night.
I don't know about that, but I don't know about that. I struggle sleeping, but it is what it is, innit? And I'm alive and I'm able to tell my story, use my negative past to educate people on a positive future.
So how does Salford come into it?
Salford, I don't really have any dealings with the Salford and
Yeah.
Moss Side thing, you know. I have some friends from Salford, but back then there was tensions with everybody, to be honest. But nowadays there's no tensions with Salford or Moss Side. Obviously Salford's got their own thing going on. But I did have some friends in Salford, and
There always seems to be aggro in Salford, though. Even now, there's always something going on.
I can't speak on Salford. I'm from Moss Side. I'm from the heart of Manchester. Salford.
It's not even Manchester, is
exactly. They will tell you they're Salfordians.
Yeah.
You know, the Red Army and all that. But yeah, I don't have no issues with nobody in Salford.
No.
Don't have issues with anybody in Cheetham Hill. I don't have any issues with anybody from the Gooch. Obviously, there's people that don't like me, and there's people I dislike, but I don't hate nobody no more.
Who are the main heads from the Gooch again?
And the main heads from the Gooch. Now, the Gooch is gone now, but
Back then.
my rivals was the Piggies and the Cabos, Joyce and Amos. They was my rivals.
Yeah.
You know, not that they ever done anything or I ever done anything to them, but you know, they're the ones that everybody talks about.
So they were you had your elders, they were the youngsters' elders.
They was like my era.
Yeah.
But I'd had beef with their elders as well because I thought I was a man before the time, but I'm not gonna go into any names of them elders. Do you know? But
Yeah, we can
I did have beef with them.
People who were around there at the time know it, and if people weren't, they don't need to know it, do they?
Nah.
You know what I mean?
They knew that I had beef with them and I knew they had beef with me, and
Yeah.
you know, the past is in the past. They might see this and they might think something else, but it is what it is, innit? You know,
You can walk up with your head held up high, can't you?
Yeah,
Anywhere
I
around
know.
Manchester.
Yeah, I know that I won't ever pick up a gun again.
No.
You know, I'm not gonna say nobody ain't gonna try and kill me again because it's possible.
Nah, I don't think they will, not now.
I hope not, but anything's possible.
Let me touch you wood on it.
Anything's possible.
So a lot of people, especially the Americans, are fascinated by the prison experience in this country then. What was your first arrest that sent you to prison?
First arrest was got in a fight in town. There was a gun there. Somebody got caught with a gun. I didn't get caught with a gun. I got arrested a few hours later because the person who I was fighting with said I was there. And obviously, police had a gun and they had to find a gun. They found the gun with the person. So I got arrested and charged with possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. Done a few months on remand. Found not guilty in the end. The person with the gun pleaded guilty. But when I first went to jail, it was a place called Inley. I was 18 and jail was jail then. I don't know if people have been to jail nowadays in England. It's not jail. When I landed,
it's like a holiday camp now. But I see some of these shows, like, I watched that one from they're in Jersey and stuff. They got like PlayStations and they get fucking fed decent scran and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when I went to jail, you was given a jug.
Yeah.
There was no toilets. You was given a jug and shown where the sluice was.
I did Walsall in 91 and it was like that, exactly the same as that.
Yeah.
I was on the H block and it was just a fucking, you shit in a bucket and in the morning you slopped it out.
Yeah, slop out. People don't know about that nowadays. No. But regardless of jail, jail is jail. Yeah. You're away from your loved ones. A lot of people say it's easier because you got a TV and a PlayStation and things like that, but you're still away from your loved ones.
But you can call them now, can't you, on your little fucking mobiles?
Yeah, throughout the years I was caught with a couple of mobiles in jail, but it is what it is.
Have you seen the size of them now? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Mad that. I can hoot 4 or 5 of them. No fucking problem, no,
So yeah, jail was a mad place because you had people from my gang, my estate, on one wing, and then you had the enemy on the other estate, and then visits. They couldn't control who booked visits when. They didn't work it out back then how to do it. So when it was visit time, I used to always try to attack people. Not very successful sometimes because the screws would get in there first. But I attacked people that much so on visits, I got put down the block and I wasn't allowed to live a normal location because I was that violent.
Well, the thing is, not just, I mean, you should have got the visits a bit better than that because not only you're attacking people, the people that are coming to see you, see the other people.
There was always fights then, and back then, 91, 92, didn't need ID to go and visit somebody.
Right.
You could book up a visit or just turn up and you could have a visit.
Yeah.
When people was on remand, so it was easier to get away with a little read and write outside.
So it was just open gang warfare in Hindley, did you say was the first one?
Hindley
was the first one.
Yeah. HMP Hindley, yeah. I was there.
That near Wigan?
Yeah, that's Wigan.
Yeah.
Lancashire, yeah. But yeah, people from my side was on certain wings. They split wings, but it didn't stop because people had to go education, people had to go work, people had to go to the gym, church. So this war, don't forget, people had been killed recently in Moss Side. Yeah. So tensions were still high. You know, so anytime we got opportunities to see each other, it was on.
And you got the rec too. Did you have extra guards out for rec?
No. It's like they wanted it to happen.
Sounds like they did, doesn't it, really? Like, they might as well just introduce you and give you the fucking keys, don't it?
It's like back in the day, the police didn't want to solve anything. They just wanted to contain it in one area. They didn't want it going to town. It didn't want it going to the suburbs, Burnings, Levenshulme, Longside, Cholton.
Well, they don't give a fuck if all black on black are killing one another.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They don't give two tosses about that.
We know that.
It's wrong, you know, isn't it? Same talk, right? It's exactly the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's not right.
So did you get ambushed?
Nah, I didn't get ambushed. I was all right, me. But I got put down the block, didn't I? So I was there permanently.
So what had you got access to in the block? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
You dick in a book.
And your phone.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a bed. You just had a mattress on the floor, and you had to roll it up and put it out through the day and get it back at 7 o'clock, at 6 o'clock at night.
Okay, now.
I was there that long. They made me become the block cleaner after being banged up for 3 weeks.
That felt good to get out just to clean the fucking block, didn't it?
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
But I'm all right with my own company. Where a lot of people would think mad things and things like that. I'm cool with my own company. I've got the patience of a saint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a few lockdowns. Prosecutor did some dirty tricks, and but you see prisoners when they're locked down because of staff shortages, they let go in spur. They just want to get out and be around other people. I don't mind just reading and not dealing with all the bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like that. Every jail I went to, I touched down in a block at least once, maybe 2 or 3 times.
In America, I'd be in the block a lot for fighting, but it's different there because you can't even have a bit of time to yourself. Because you've always got people at the fucking door being cell warriors. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. Don't know how the fuck hell you're going to do it. You don't get out of the fucking cell, you know what I mean?
So when you got released from that one, you said that was a few months.
Yeah.
What was your life like when you went back on the streets?
I went straight back to the streets. Straight back to the banging.
What you know, innit?
Yeah, because you choose to live that life, you gotta live it, and you gotta live it to the extreme. Because if you don't, you're gonna get killed. It's like I said, it's kill or be killed, shoot or be shot, stab or be stabbed. Do you know? And obviously, you gotta have an income. So my income was narcotics.
Well, at least you kept it real. You get some people who've been in jail for 6 months, 12 months, and they come out and they're all religious and they're giving everything up and all that. But then they don't anyway, they go right back to it.
Exactly, but that's all I knew, so that's why I done what I done. And obviously, I seen my mate get killed, and I had other mates and family that had been
So you still had,
murdered.
no matter what, revenge? You were still going to sort that out?
I wanted to avenge his murder right up until 2011.
The story of your mate getting killed, is that something you want to describe, or is it not something you want to go into?
Yeah, I can talk about it. Me and my mate went to get ham and cheese on toast in Moss Side Precinct in a bakery. We was with a couple other people. 3 people chased us into the bakery, cornered us, shot my mate in his head, killed him, and I survived.
Did you get hit as well?
No, I didn't get hit on that occasion. They run out of ammunition. They only had 1 gun between 3 of them. And we had 1 gun between 2 of us. Do you know? Sorry to say it wasn't me that had the gun. My mate had the gun. I left the scene with the gun. And yeah.
Did your mate die right away?
Yeah.
That's rough, man. Fucking hell.
It is, and every day I think about it. But nowadays I live my life in that he didn't die in vain, because I can educate people on what really happens. The sorrow, the depression, the PTSD. I can educate people on what really happens. Our mates usually run off and leave you. On that day, we didn't run off and leave each other.
He would have, if it was you who got killed, he'd avenged you.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe he would have. There's other people that you have thought was as close as him, where I think they wouldn't have, but he would have. Yeah, so it went on, tit for tat, right up until 2011. Throughout the years, I went to jail a few times, come out, went back to what I knew, come out, went back to what I knew. I lived my life like that, even in jail. On sight, if I seen anybody, it was beef. Do you know, a lot of people forget it when they're in jail and just leave it to the streets. I wasn't one of them people. I just kept it real.
Yeah.
You know, and most of the people who I had it with, on the other side, they kept it real. Obviously, there's people from both sides that was bad shit houses and didn't want the screws to beat them up, or didn't want the screws to break up a fight. We'll leave it till we get out. No, people have been killed. Do you know? People have
We're
been
sorting
killed.
this.
You've tried to kill me. You've shot me. Get this on now. Do you know? Win, lose or draw, it's going to happen. And I used to run at any of them I see. I just run at any of them because back on the streets, you can run and hide. In jail, 9 times out of 10, you ain't got your tool with you. So obviously, man, have a shift and that from time to time. But if you're going on a visit, you ain't got your shift.
No.
So what can happen? The worst you can do, you get a black eye, a broken nose. It is what it is.
And the worst is when you go for that visits, you put in a room, aren't you, for a bit?
Yeah.
And in that room, you could have like 10 or 15 fucking enemies in that fucking room.
Yeah.
You don't know who you're going to be putting in the room,
Yeah.
do you?
But that's all about, that's the buzz about it. Do you know, I used to like that buzz. Do you know, the adrenaline when he was going into the visits.
Not knowing who you're going to see, don't
Yeah.
knowing.
Yeah. Because you might catch one of them slipping and you might just punch his head in.
Yeah.
But then again, you might get caught and there might be 10 of them and you might get your head kicked in. But thank God it didn't ever happen to me. But it's excitement either way, innit? It's excitement if you're going to do something or something's going to get done to you. Because what's the worst can happen? You get a little beating. You're not going to end up dead.
No.
Nowadays, with this one-punch murder and all that, it might happen. But back then, you didn't think of that. It was...
I mean, nowadays, though, it's completely different. Back then, you'd fight with all right, if you go to a gunfight with a gun, you go with a gun. But if you, in general, your fights with your fists, weren't they?
Yeah. But you know yourself, a lot of people run from fist fights.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, you could have a fist fight with someone, shake their hands and walk away. But nowadays, for the last 25 years, 30 years, not been like that. People want to seek revenge. And, you know, tit for tat. You might shoot me, I might shoot you. You might kill me, then you're going to get killed. And it just spirals out of control. So nowadays, we need to kind of like, if people have got beef, it's never going to happen. We need to have someone in between and say, let's get in a boxing ring, throw some gloves on.
Every Saturday for the year, I'd go downtown and I'd get into a fight with the same lad, win or lose. And fuck that, fucking hell, blood on my shirt again, not give a fuck. Still going top of the town, going to the nightclub, getting some fucking rum corn tart. And like fucking next Saturday, the same again. And we did it for a fucking year. And in the end, we just looked at one another and said, fuck it, let's just drink. And become best mates.
Drown your sorrows, yeah, that's...
You know what I mean?
It's easier, isn't it? No one is getting killed, and then there's no mums burying sons, no sisters burying brothers, no kids burying dads. Do you know? It's the easiest way to do. You know, I say to kids nowadays, you might like fighting, but you don't want to be having beef over postcodes, especially when you don't own no property there.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know? But if you like fighting, why don't you go to MMA? Why don't you go mixed martial arts? You can batter the fuck out of each other and you can shake hands at the end of the day. And if you're that good, you can even get paid for battering the fuck out of somebody.
And it gives them a sense of discipline.
I say to kids, everything's transferable. You might sell drugs. If you keep a profit at the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Transfer that skill into the legal world. You're a salesman. You're an entrepreneur. Do you know? Everything's transferable. If you're fast, you can go into athletics. If you can have a little fight, MMA or boxing, everything's transferable.
I think with the drugs as well, I mean, the shorter you're in there, the better. I'm a firm believer, get in there, make it so everyone starts doing the bags and that, but make it so you've done keys, make a bit of money, get 20, 30 grand out of it, and then just fuck it off.
It's harder to keep money nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Illegitimate money. Obviously, legal money is better than anything. £1,000 clean money is better than £10,000 dirty money, as we all know.
I mean, you can't even go to casinos nowadays, is it really, can you?
I don't know, I've never been in a casino.
You've never really seen it?
Never been in a casino in my life.
Oh, they used to clean money back in the day in the casinos, but you'd be paying for it.
So going back to what you said then, you saw your mate die. You mentioned PTSD. Did that PTSD start right away after you saw that?
No, it didn't. It didn't kick in. I was too busy trying to shoot people, so it didn't kick in straight away. Years later, I was going down and down in the dumps, and I went to my doctors, and they're the ones that said I had PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't start. It didn't start right away, and I did have it, and I suffered from it bad. To be honest, I suffer from a lot of mental health issues. I suffer, obviously, that's the main one, but I go through bouts of depression, certain times of the year, and things like that. So that's where my PTSD started from. My mate getting killed, and obviously reliving the times that I got shot.
But when you say depression certain times of the year, I would imagine it's, you know, you're thinking about the times when your mates have been killed. You've lost loved ones and stuff.
Loved ones, people close to me that have died through natural causes.
It's going to get you down, isn't it?
Yeah, but
You'd have to be a robot for it not to, like.
Well, that's what us as men know, that because we're open with our feelings. But a lot of people will tell kids, "Nah, you're all right to do that. You'll be all right. You'll all be all right." But I guarantee, all three of us in here have had mental health issues.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I score off the scale and loads of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's like anyone involved in gangs and the road life, they're definitely gonna have mental health issues.
So have they told you to deal with your PTSD? What works for you?
Nothing works for me. I just take time out. I try to take time out and keep myself busy, but it doesn't work. There's nothing that makes me forget
a
my
joint.
past. Never smoked weed in my life. Never smoked weed
I
in
like
my life.
weed myself. I don't like the green. I like the old school Rocky. You know what I mean? The block.
Yeah, I've never smoked weed in my life. A lot of kids, I ask kids, do you think I've ever smoked weed? They say, yeah, because I was a gang member. But watching my mum smoke cigarettes, it used to scare me. The amber, is it the ember?
Yeah,
on the
red
cigarette,
bit,
it used to scare me. And then years later, my mum died of lung cancer.
Wow.
So I've never smoked anything. I've touched drugs. I've took E's, I've took MDMA, I took coke.
Yeah.
Do you know? But drugs ain't for me. My addiction was women. And everyone used to say I'm going to get killed going to a woman's house. And mostly.
Yeah, I hope you get if that's going to happen, I hope you get killed coming out of a woman's house. I hope you get yours before you get it.
That's what people used to say to me, but that was back then, innit? Going back to the mental health issue, yeah, we all suffer mental health. I reckon 90% of the human population suffer. Does everybody admit it? No. Everybody has a bad day now and then, regardless.
I think living up north too doesn't help.
No, up north's all right. Better than down south.
It's depressing though, isn't it?
Versus Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona's like almost 50 degrees in the summer. Sun's just out all the time.
I don't like the sun, so I'm all right.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, I don't like the heat. I like to stay out in the air conditioning. But you were buzzing, right? When Wildman first got there, they got these like cactus that are like 30 foot high, and the cowboys and shit have shot bullet holes in, and Wildman's like, is that a cactus? Pull over. I've never fucking seen a cactus like that before in my life.
It was supposed to see, like, I don't know, I think just living a witness is depressing as fuck. No one's hardly working. Everyone's fucking either on the sick or on the fucking dole. Fucking, you just see smog permanently from the fucking towers.
Because for us, growing up in Widnes, the big attraction for us was Manchester on the weekend or Liverpool on the weekend.
Yeah,
I had to get out.
Yeah.
In the middle.
I had to get out. It no matter where. Go anywhere. Go Coventry, wouldn't we? We'd go
Down to the Eclipse Club in Coventry. Shelley's in Stoke.
Is Shelley still on in Stoke?
I don't know. Did you go to any of those clubs
Nah, I
back
didn't
then?
go. Nah, I just went. I went to a couple in town, but in Manchester city centre back in the day. I went out of town, Birmingham, London, Milton Keynes, Northampton, Nottingham, Sheffield. Never Stoke.
Which ones in town did you go?
I only went to a couple. Conspiracy when it was the X Club.
Oh, we loved Conspiracy, didn't
I
we?
went.
Is that the one with the coloured dance floor?
Had all those caves in it and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I went there once.
Different
I
rooms.
went there once, and there was a shooting on the night that I went there. There was a woman called Gabrielle singing. at the time singing this song called Dreams. And that night ended up in a nightmare. I was involved in something in there, and it ended up being an all-out gunfight.
Fucking hell.
I was present. I'm not saying I was one of the shooters.
But you were there. Wrong place, wrong time. It happens,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
It is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
That's the first time my club got shot up in Manchester.
Did they have a huge police line for everybody coming out? Because we were there when something went down, and I was off Med on E, and we just had to walk down a wall of police.
No, by the time we got off and all that, when we went in there was police on the door. It was mad because there was a single policeman in uniform on the door. And when whatever happened inside and we come out, that copper had gone. I don't know where he'd gone. He must have heard the bangs and fucked off because he wasn't armed response or nothing.
There was different wars going on back then, though. You had the doorman wars, which were completely different, weren't they?
Yeah.
I work with my dad. I do kitchens, I fit kitchens. But if you go round off green, no fucking works. After women can't even be asked getting dressed, you walk around with fucking pyjamas on. You know what I mean?
It's just like speaking it.
You've got a sports director. Go get some clothes, god damn it. You know what I mean?
And TK Maxx.
All right, so going back to your story, like trying to do it in a time order, you said you did your mum's at Hindley.
Yeah.
What was your next arrest?
My next arrest was possession with intent to supply, Class A.
How did you get busted on that one?
I was serving somebody up at Moss Side Precinct, and obviously when the police got intelligence on you, they're going to be watching you. The police, they knew about my gun, allegedly involved in gun crime. So they was on my case. I served somebody and he run off. Police come from everywhere. He run off and I didn't have nothing on me. At the time, he bought the last 2 bags. So the police got the bags off him, took me, arrested me, then found 2 more bags in my house. What I didn't know nothing about in a dumbbell. I forgot all about them. And yeah, I was back in jail. Back on remand. Back in jail. Got a 4-year sentence. And I had some bullets hidden next door's garden. And them bullets happened, 2 bullets happened. I don't know if it was the bullets from next door garden because I never checked when I got out of jail. But 2 bullets happened to find themselves on a picture frame in my bedroom, according to the police. But what the police didn't tell the judge is when they took me out of my bed, that picture frame previously, that picture frame was on the floor. But they said it was on the wall. So the last time they had arrested me, I was released, they threw me against the wall and that picture frame was broke and it was on the wall. It was on the floor. So they said they found, when they took me to the police station, they said they found 2 bullets on the ledge of a picture frame that was on the wall, which was actually on the floor, broke.
They were just trying to get you put down, weren't they?
Yeah, so I got 6 months consecutive for them bullets, even though they wasn't mine.
Which prison did you go to next?
I went to Inley, and I went to Inley. I was on remand at Inley. Oh yeah, at the same time, previously. No, I got bail for the drugs, and then a couple of days later, I got arrested again for some attempt murders. So they remanded me on the attempt murders and the drugs, 2 in 1 charge. So I was arrested for, what was the charge with then? Conspiracy to murder, 2 attempt murders, and the possession with intent to supply was remanded on all 3.
So that's a life sentence, is it?
Pardon?
You're facing a life sentence on that?
Yeah, on attempted murder, conspiracy to murder, the maximum is a life sentence. So I went on trial, was found not guilty of the 2 attempt murders, found not guilty of conspiracy to murder. I don't know why I was charged with conspiracy to murder because nobody didn't get shot, nobody didn't get hit.
All you got to do with conspiracy is allegedly think about it, though. That's the conspiracy.
I wasn't even at any of them scenes. which my barrister proved. So I was found not guilty and then was given 4 years for the drugs and 6 months consecutive for the bullets.
They were just trying to fucking set you up to get you out of the fucking way, weren't they, really?
Yeah, that's what they used to do. They used to lock you up, but when they lock you up, someone else was getting out, so the war just continued.
Yeah.
You know, the war continued behind the door. The war continued on the road. But I was one of the people that made sure that the war continued. I was proper instigator, proper trouble causer. When I come out of jail in 95, after the 92, getting 4.5 years, doing 3 years, come out of jail at the end of 95, there was peace. There was peace on, and I didn't think it was right because my mate had only been killed 4 years. So I was one of the instigators to break the peace.
How did you break that peace?
I just started arguing with people and then shots was getting fired and the peace was broke.
Did you get any comebacks on that? Didn't
get any comebacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got shot.
Yeah.
I got shot later on in the left leg, like I told you, when I was in hospital for 9 months. But it was, you know, a lot of other people weren't happy with the piece being on.
Yeah.
But some of the main players, myself and other people, was in jail. So like the softer shit houses thought it was the easiest thing to go and talk peace when they didn't have the authority to call a peace treaty.
With all the main heads banged up too, they probably didn't have the nous or the muscle either, did they really?
No, but they lost somebody too when my mate got killed, so they should have represented his name.
Exactly, yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to make excuses for anybody because nobody gives anybody the right to go and shoot people. That's my thoughts now, but back then, my thought process was different.
So that 3 years that you did then, what was that like?
It was adventurous because obviously I come across a lot of the enemy in jail and I kept it going. I went from Inley to a place called Northallerton.
I was being Northallerton, Accrington, Northallerton.
I went to Northallerton. From Northallerton, I went to Castington. From Castington, I went to Armley. From Armley, I went to Lindholm. So it was pretty adventurous when we went up north to Casterton. It wasn't anywhere where anybody of any colour was welcomed.
Right.
So when I landed there, some guy come to my cell, see me playing. I had something called an Atari Lynx. It's like that. I'll have that off you in the morning. I said, all right then. He thought
doesn't need to fucking talk.
He thought that I was a dummy.
Yeah.
But it's mad because me and the guy become good friends after that. In the morning, I went down, he was on the server. And he said something about nigger lips. I'm coming for that later. So I just filled up my cup with hot water and just threw it in his face and started punching him up. Afterwards, we become dead good mates.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have to set your store. You have to make your mark in a place like that. You know, a couple of weeks later, my brother ended up there.
What was the jail called again?
Castington. It was across the road from Accrington.
Oh, Accrington.
Accrington's a cons, innit? Castington's a YPs.
Got you. Yeah, it's what's it? Is it Stockton-on-Tees or something?
Nah, Morpeth.
That's
Stockton-on-Tees, I've been in there. That's a home house.
Home house, I've been there.
I've been there a couple of times.
The food's all right. When I was in Accrington, it was fucking mad. The bullets, it was just like, you'd had your own fucking key to your fucking door. It was a one-man cell. And your family could bring your bedding and all. Like, you could bring fucking a duvet.
Bloody hell.
And like, you'd have your own key to yourself, fucking basically. They'd come and lock it up at 10 o'clock. But up to 10 o'clock, you're open.
Wow.
You're just wandering around. I'd always get jobs in the kitchen, mate. I'd straight move to the
easy
kitchen.
You had it easy then. You had it. You didn't have to worry about eating noodles and tuna. What you want.
I had big stotties every fucking day.
Yeah, but I was in Casterton and I had a few fights with them. I had a few fights with the Gooch boys in there. And then I turned 21 and was sent to Lindholm via Armley. In Armley for a couple of days. Went to Lindholm and I was released from Lindholm in 1995.
They tried to jump me in Accrington because they said I was a Scouse bastard. So he was a Scouse bastard. Because all the Scouts was down there. They're famous for it. They go down and start robbing cells. And everyone gets cast the fucking same from up north, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they love the fight stories on this channel. Our audience is like, lads, got any good fight stories from that time
Good fight stories.
in the prison?
Oh, yeah. There was this guy when I was in Inley. Months before I went to Inley, I seen him. I have to be careful how I say this. I escorted him from his estate to my estate. I didn't kidnap him, but I took him to my estate and I gave him a little going over and whatever and let him go. I let him go home in his underpants because he didn't have boxer shorts on.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a shitbag. I actually thought he was a shitbag. And just before I got locked up, me and my mate seen him driving, so I pulled up the car, skidded, and run to him and tried to grab him again. And he pulled out a gun and started shooting at me. I didn't think he had the balls to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, scared men are the worst men to finger. So I jumped, he chased me, because I didn't have nothing on me. I jumped in one side of the taxi and out the other side of the taxi, like in America.
Shit with his fist.
And my mate had locked himself in the taxi office and was knocking the door. He's like, who is it? I was like, me, let me in. So he let me in. So cut a long story short, the police coming out, that we got off, he got off. And then I seen him in Inley a few weeks later. And I thought, yes. I seen him come down the stairs. I thought, yeah, I'm going to knock this guy out because I'm a big guy and he's like this. And as I go to run to knock him out, he pulled out a PP9. I don't know if you know what a PP9 is.
Battery.
Big batteries in socks and started swinging it. So my mate grabbed him from behind and I give him a few digs and it was over. But it all stemmed from me escorting him from my estate because he wasn't a gang member or anything, but we just used to go around. I used to go around bullying people.
I think you toughed him up a bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and he tried to kill me, but he was actually in jail for the same gun that he tried to kill me with. He was charged with attempted murder for shooting a couple of people. Because I turned him into a monster because of what I'd done. But yeah, that was a decent fight. I had loads of fights. There was one time I was in Inley and two Gooch boys just been moved on our wing accidentally, and I was a cleaner. All me other boys was banged up or at the gym. I was on the wing and two of them rushed at me at the same time. And I had it with them. They didn't beat me even though there was two of them. I didn't beat them. But that was a good reading, right? When else? I was in Strangeways a few years later. I was walking off the yard. One of somebody from the Gooch had hid behind the door where you come in and he'd hit me. So we had a little bit of a go and I done him in properly. I remember going to the adjudication and the reporting officer says, such and such started it, but Laycock finished it. Do you know? But I still got punished. Yeah. I still got GOAD. But I was only defending myself then. Yeah, what other fight? Oh, I was charged. I was on Cat A in Strangeways, 99. I'd recently been charged with murder. I've been cleared of it. And the guy who got murdered, his brother and some of his mates got put on a Cat A wing. And my mates, I did just come on, my mates like that, come out and exercise, we'll do whatever when we come back. And I thought, nah, I can't let these guys come on here thinking that they're going to bully me. So they put the stuff in the cells and they walked up to where I was on the landing and I was waiting for them.
Had they come looking for you,
Yeah, they come obviously because one of them had lost a brother, nothing to do with me, I was cleared of it and things like that. But obviously
at the time he don't know.
He did know, but they just carry feelings, so they come towards me and I had a kettle boiling. I was stood outside myself. So I threw the kettle at one of them, picked up a metal bin, and started hitting the other two. And then the three of them tried to grab me, but I'm a big guy. They can't grab me, So we had a little fight, three of them against one. Nobody got any bruises. They didn't get the better of me, even though there was three of them. They might think they did, but yeah, got took down the choker and then got kept in the choker until I was in court. They give me 7 days CCT, 7 days CC cellular confinement for each one of the people. Yeah, they got 7 days. So I got 21 days and they got 7 days. How's that work? And because of the disorder of the going back on the Cat A wing, if I would have went back up there, they kept me in GOAD in the block until my trial, and I was released from there. I was arrested on that. My DNA was found in a gun in Liverpool, and it was dropped because they kept my DNA from the murder and never destroyed it after the murder. So it was dropped. And then there was old kind of like political thing. It was discharged. There were loads of political things, and they got permission to recharge me, and I got 8 years.
That's bullshit. That's some bullshit. That.
But my DNA was that low of copy. Normal scientists couldn't find it, and it's called a low copy number. Jonathan Paul Whitaker was a forensic guy. He come to court in the trial and says, "You can't say I touched that gun. His best guess is I touched that gun." But I'm not going to say but I was in a group of people where that gun was. So
You're not going to
I got
incriminate
found guilty.
yourself
I got found guilty on a low copy number. On the same DNA, the low copy LCN, the Omar bombers got off because you can't get a conviction. But obviously, because of the reputation and the intelligence the police had, they had to send me to jail. I went on appeal to appeal the conviction. And who did I have for me appeal? The Lord Chief Justice Wolf.
Well, he's a bastard.
Who gets a Lord Chief Justice on an appeal? And Greater Manchester Police was sat in the dock. And not only that, the gun was found in Liverpool, yet Manchester Police charged me.
How's that? It should be Merseyside.
You tell me.
It's the wrong district, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Exactly, but politics, people don't think politics are involved in violence and gun and all that.
If they wanted you, they were going to get you somehow. By hook, by crook, they were going to have
you know what?
They were going to stitch you.
It is what
They could have found it in fucking Glasgow and still trying to stitch
it is what it is, I went and done an 8-year sentence and I'm alive. There's many people that ain't alive, so it's just like I say in Gun Number 6, the film I'm in.
It was injustice, though.
It might be injustice, but I don't complain about the things I got away with, do I?
No.
So I shouldn't complain about that. It's like when people, what pisses me off? When you're in jail, when people are complaining that they've been wrongly convicted.
Yeah.
Every time as a gang member that I got away with everything, I didn't knock on a police station at the end of the night and say I got away with this, arrest me.
Exactly.
But we complain when they get us for something we do.
If they catch you for everything you have done, you wouldn't be fucking out, would you? So.
Exactly. I'd be there for about 300 more years. And that's getting out with good behaviour. But, it's occupational hazard. When you commit crime, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Just like another day at the office. In my life, if I survived a day, it was a good day.
Can't do the time, don't do the crime.
If I survived not getting killed in a day, it was a great day. But we don't complain about the things we get away with. We complain about when we get locked up for things we have done or we have knowledge of being done or...
If you do things and to normal people it sounds mad, but if you live that life and just like it's an everyday normal occurrence, and it's like getting up doing your 9 to 5, really. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's what I say. I said this in the program I was in, Gun Number 6, and the newspapers ripped me to death saying I'm a bully this, I'm a bully that. I was just honest. It's an occupational hazard.
Yeah.
Me getting caught with 500 bullets on my last arrest.
What's your book called? Sorry.
Not a book. I was in a program called Gun Number 6, and I tell them the truth.
Yeah,
that it was an occupational hazard. It's like another day at the office. which it was because the streets was my work.
Yeah.
People might say I'm big-headed and all that, but I'm not. That was my work. Like, you work podcasting, and nowadays I work going into schools. The streets was my job then.
I said a while back on one of these podcasts, there was, I don't know who we had on, he was the car thief guy. He got one of the numbers where he fucking...
Was the victimless crime one?
Yeah. I forgot the guy's name. But he was talking, he robs these high class cars and that. And I said, because I think to myself, well, that's a victimless crime. Because the guys who got these fucking high class cars, they've got them insured and shit, you know what I mean? So they're going to get paid out on that, aren't they?
What's your film about?
It's called Gun Number 6. It's about the most deadliest gun on Britain's streets. And it's still out there. 11 people have been convicted of murder. 3 people have been killed with a gun. And like we were saying about before, clean guns.
Yeah.
The gun's still out there. So the gun's been passed on and passed on. So it's actually a gun in Birmingham where there's 11 people doing life sentences. It's called Gun Number 6.
Wow.
It won a BAFTA earlier this year.
I'd like to watch that.
I'll send you a link for it. Yeah. So it's about a gun. So it just goes to show that the effect of guns have, gangs have, on the wilder public. It's all right me shooting you and you shooting me, but it's my mum having to visit me in jail and your mum, your brothers and sisters have to visit you in a grave. You know what I mean? There's wider implications, the public.
And then your son growing up hating one another.
Exactly, but that's what it's about.
Bringing young blood, bad blood back.
It's pretty good. It's been nominated for quite a few awards. There's an award show next month, actually.
Where can people watch it?
You can't watch it, but I can email you the link to it. It was on the BBC and it was on the iPlayer, but I can email you a link. I can email it you.
Yeah, please. So this other stretch then was 8 years, you said?
Yeah, that
was a different prison now?
That was 8 years. Oh, yeah, I went around the block. I went that prison. I went to a few different prisons. I started off in Strangeways, Catty, ended off in Dovegate. Stayed there for 2 years. That was amazing jail. That was a private jail. When I got there, I was one of the first prisoners in there. I was told to go and pick my cell on a wing. On my wing was the wing where the wall was, so things could fly over. My wing was the only one where things could fly over the wall.
Girl.
You know, and officers turn backs and things like that. Loads of corruption going on. Loads of screws getting banged in there.
Plenty of tennis balls.
Yeah. Tennis balls, footballs, you name it. The size of the things that used to come over there, you'd need more than tennis balls.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dovegate, that was a great jail. Mates having affairs with screws, things like that. I paid a couple of screws to bring me a couple of items that you wasn't allowed on the canteen. And yeah, that was a good jail. Had a couple of fights in there. Battered some kid because he was on Christmas Day 2001 because he was throwing tomatoes, having a laugh and a joke, and I didn't find it a laugh and a joke that I was away from my kids. I asked the kid to say sorry. He says no, so I went into his cell and punched his head in. Do you know, he thought I was just a fat guy that couldn't fight, but I could hold my own. That was on Christmas Day 2001. Some Muppet from Leeds called Danny. Still on Muppet now, even though I don't own no malice against nobody. What else happened in that jail? Yeah, I wasn't allowed in the workshops because of my violence tendencies. They put me in a workshop and then realised there was weapons there and then took me out. So I was on the server, cleaning laundry. One time, I was arguing with someone on the server, and there you had proper plates, not plastic plates. So, guy got cheeky, so I slammed his plate on the top of the hot plate, saying that he wasn't getting any food. Little did I know that the plate was going to smash, and a shard of the porcelain went into somebody's neck, and he nearly died, some innocent bystander. But it was only an accident. I didn't get in trouble for it or anything. But yeah, someone nearly died.
Tell that guy with a fucking porcelain in his neck. Yeah.
But you know what? To be
You gotta
honest,
see the funny side of that, though. I mean,
to be honest, you should have seen it. You've never seen blood like it, and I've been in a lot of situations where I've caused accidents.
Yeah.
Where blood's been, you've never seen anything like it. It was like something out of a horror movie.
Must have just
Blood
got the right
like,
vein.
But I believe he took the jail to court, and I believe he was well compensated by insurers. He never held it against me.
No.
He never held it against me, even though he spent quite a bit of time in hospital. He never held it against me. It was a lifer doing life for 3 murders.
He got paid. You didn't have to do no extra time on it. He didn't blame you, so everyone's a winner.
Yeah, he was a very peaceful man.
What other situations have you been in where you said you accidentally caused blood?
Accidentally caused blood. I didn't see accidents. I've been in quite a few situations where I've caused blood. Obviously, I've been charged with shootings. I've not been convicted, so I can't admit to being...
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah, but I was charged with stabbing somebody up and making him break dance to Spice Girl music and sing. And I was found not guilty because the reason I was found not guilty is because obviously he named me as Darryl Laycock, but he didn't know my name. Someone had told him my name, so... Yeah. I was found not guilty on the hearsay evidence thing. I had a brilliant barrister who brought in a stack of papers to explain what hearsay evidence was to the judge, and I was cleared and found not guilty.
You need decent barristers, don't you?
Yeah, I still have a working relationship with my barrister now. And that was the first time I worked with him, 96, 97, and I've got a programme coming out with him. I've been on one show with him. I've got a programme coming out with him in January on BBC Primetime.
When you're growing up, you tend to stick with like county courts and stick with like a normal solicitor. But as you get a bit older, your crimes are getting more serious. It's more of barristers and crown courts, isn't it?
Yeah, my barrister is actually a QC now, and he's never ever prosecuted, which is rare. He's a defence specialist.
Wow.
So I speak to him quite often. We do some work together with the TV stuff and all that, and he supports anything that I do. I do a lot of charity work, and he's always the first to support it.
That's good. That's very good.
What charity work do you do?
I do a lot of school work for free. I feed homeless people. I collect for kids' charities, provide clothes, bedding, nappies for charities. At Christmas last year, I raised enough to feed 30 families, provide families alongside my friend 30 hampers. I just do everything I do. I try and do good. You know, I try and do a good deed all the time. Obviously, a lot of my work I do in schools.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, a lot of my work I do in school, I actually lose by doing it because sometimes it costs me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get no government support whatsoever.
What's the reaction from the kids?
I get an amazing reaction from the kids. They all message me on social media saying, thanks for coming, you've changed our life.
There's your payment right there,
so,
isn't it?
Yeah. And you know what it is? A lot of people won't cut. The kind of people in this kind of work, you'll know because you do public speaking. A lot of people have got egos and they won't come out of their house for nothing. Whereas I put people before profit.
Yeah.
And I've never put profit before people because I've always been a person that gives. Even though I was involved in one of the bloodiest wars of our era, I've always been Darryl to people, not the devil to people.
Yeah.
So to speak. So, yeah, I've always done that.
So if you were at a chippy and you were getting kebab and your mate was skin, you'd get him a kebab, like.
Yeah, I'd always look after everybody else before I looked after myself. I'm still like that now. Even though I might not be able to afford the big meals that we used to have, I still always look after the person. It's like if you go on a date, you don't let the woman pay, so to speak. Not that I go on dates, but, you know, I've always been a gentleman, kind of
No wrong with that.
thing, you know.
So as a gunman then, when you're in the prison and this war's going on, did you feel the need to have weapons in the prison system?
Let him be the nice person for a minute.
Sure, just the blood and guts, innit? I'm always going to be a nice person, but I'm always going to be that. I was always going to be that person. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily always had weapons. I always had a shiv somewhere. But I mean, if you're going on visits or you're going off the wing, you can't really carry a shiv with you because you know yourself.
So, yeah.
You get searched coming on and off the wing. But I always had a shiv. I always had a cup, had a plate that I could crack at any time and stick in somebody's neck.
How easy was it to get material for the shiv?
People working in workshops, it's very easy. Do you know, another incident I had in... I said I wasn't going to get in trouble no more. 2005, I was in Winston Green. I'd been shanghaied from Dovegate. I'd gone like loads of different jails. So I ended up in Winston Green and I thought, I'm going to work here. I went education, I become an education orderly. And, you know, the orderlies, they're seen as a soft touch and all that. So I was, I just had to go and collect numbers. That's all it was. I'm in a Birmingham jail. I'm the only mank in there. And some guy come in and all that, see me writing down numbers and all that, and he must have thought he was a big bad. I am. Do you know what I mean? I kept myself quiet whilst I was in there, so he's telling me, he come over to me, and he's asked me what I'm doing, told him, and he's telling me to move out his way, move screwboy. And you know yourself, if someone calls you a screwboy, you might as well call you a nonce. So what did I do? I just stuck a pen right in his cheek and in his neck. Stabbed him in his neck and in his cheek with a bit pen.
Screwboys are just like it's like an American version of punk or bitch.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna ever call anyone a screwboy again.
No.
But when I've done that,
but he was trying to bully, and the bully got bullied.
But
so
obviously he didn't know who it was, and he didn't know my name because everybody else in the jail. But he'd just come there and knew, thinking he was a big bad man, and that happened to him. Do you know what I mean? Not only that, he's calling me a screwboy. I get taken down the block. He's gone to the hospital, and then the police come and take my clothes and my trainers because he wants to make a statement. You know, he's calling me a screwboy, then he wants to get me charged. But at the time, I was kind of like, I had a special female teacher at that time. We're not going to go into that, but I had a teacher friend at that time, and she was a witness to the adjudication. And at the time, because I got a bad wrist where I got shot in, I had a metal, you know, the have you seen the wrist straps and you have a metal plate in it?
Yeah.
Well, my excuse, he got cut like that because I'd hit him with this, which wasn't. It was a big pen. Maybe you want to charge me, maybe you don't, but I'm doing good now. And I'm not glamorizing things, but this is what happened. I'm not going to lie. So a teacher come and says, she perjured herself and says, I hit him as well. So
I'm surprised you didn't turn that metal thing into two shanks.
The thought had crossed my mind. But yeah, he tried to get me charged. It didn't work. I got a few days in a block, and he spent a bit of time in hospital, but that was it.
What finally made you change your heart about the lifestyle?
You know what it was? I'm not going to go into it because it's very, very private, but something happened to a family member, and it made me realise that the boys on the street want my family. When I was in jail, they didn't look after me. When I was out, they wanted me to help them make money and things like that, back them up, and they wanted to back me up. But when something happened to a family member, and I thought to myself, I'm doing all this badness, looking after my mates on the streets, and my family are the ones that are suffering. So I had to put my family before my boys. And
get your priorities right.
Yeah. So when I was released from jail, 2008, 16th of August, the 16th of August 2008, I was caught with 500 bullets in Hunts Cross McDonald's. My co-accused were caught with some guns at his house, but that's neither here nor there. And that's most probably the best thing to ever happen to me, more so than my kids, because if I would have got back to my side with them bullets, people would have got killed.
Two dead people. Each one of them was a person.
Not. There's no two ways about it. I might not have killed anybody, but whoever I give them bullets, distributed them bullets to, they would have been deaf. They would have been. So it's the best thing. It's a blessing in disguise. Moving on to the incident that happened. Something happened to my family member, and I thought, nah, this is it. I can't do this no more. I can't go back to jail, because my mum, as her oldest son, my mum could only sleep when I was in jail, because she'd had a knock on the door saying he's been charged with murder, knock on the door had been shot, knock on the door had been stabbed.
She knows she can sleep because she knows that you're all right.
Yeah, so, I come out of jail 2006, got stabbed in 2006 7 times.
Where were you when you got stabbed?
I was in a club in Bradford. I walked through the door, and people tried to ask me for money, and I've never paid going in a club. And you know that big bravado, you just think it's going to work forever. And obviously, if you scare someone that much, it's like if you back a rat into a corner, it's going to attack you.
Yeah.
It don't mean to. It's going to jump over your shoulder, but it's going to bite you on the way. So, I was in a club, and the promoter come up to me and says, yo, D, yo, D, what? And he just started stabbing me. And I was on the floor, and I don't know how, but I just kicked him on his ass, jumped up, got out of there, jumped in my car, got to the hospital, collapsed in the car park. The police found me unconscious in the car park. So, that's what happened when I got stabbed. Going back to this incident and turning my life, I thought to myself, I've been backing my boys for years, and, when I go to jail or anything, they don't even look after me, and I've backed them to the point where I've been charged with murder, I've been charged with attempted
murder. So they don't give your family some money, or they don't put money on your books?
Nah. Every now and then, but, the work that I put in, I made a lot of people a lot of rich people. So I thought, I got to do this for my family. So I come out. When I was released from jail, I was MAPA 3 Tier 4. I was the most dangerous person according to Greater Manchester Police, Merseyside Police and probation. I was the most dangerous person in the North West due to intelligence. But we all know intelligence is bullshit, don't we? 50% might be true, 40% might be true, but 100%.
Well, to be fair, you do sound pretty dangerous, mate.
That's coming from him.
But you know what? It helped me become the person I am today. So I wasn't allowed in Manchester for 2.5 years. I was on licence, I was in a hostel, and I had to go back to the hostel for a bit every 2 hours. So I couldn't go back to Manchester. I was on a 7 o'clock curfew. I was in hostel for 8 months.
I think I'd have to be back in prison.
Yeah, I know, but I had to be out there for my family. So I done that for 8 months, and then I got an house in Liverpool. I wasn't allowed back to Manchester. And for 2.5 years, I went back to Manchester 2013 after my mum was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I went to look after my mum. So I looked after my mum through a battle. She died in March the 3rd, 2015. Buried her on the 16th of March, the 15th of March. Someone was shot at my mum's funeral.
What?
Someone was shot at the reception of my mum's funeral,
Shit, man.
And people thought that I was going to go back to the old me, but I thought to myself, I made promises that I wouldn't do anything, I wouldn't go back to jail, and I thought I'd just leave it to karma. So that's what I'd done. And throughout that time, I started volunteering. with an organisation in Liverpool because I wasn't allowed in Manchester called Cells. And to be honest, Cells is most probably... Obviously, there's like loads of organisations, people that have made me the person I am today.
Yeah.
But Cells was there for me. I started volunteering where we used to go around schools taking a cell, around showing kids what it's like to be in gangs, to be abused, to go to jail and so on, and then it's just gone on from there.
Like, not so much a shock treatment, but showing people that it's not all glamorous. It's not all fast cars,
The
hot
reality,
women, and loads of money.
the reality, because really and truly, if you work it out, the kids on the streets think making money, but 9 times out of 10 of them are in debt for the rest of their lives because they've all got drug habits.
It's got bad, especially down London. The people but college people are getting stabbed for the phone. College lads they've got a future, they're doing something, and some lad will just ride up and
Or throw acid on the face.
yeah. For no reason at all.
Exactly, but crime does not pay. If you work it out, if you work in McDonald's or a low-paid job for 20 years and you're on the streets for 20 years, which one's going to make the most money? It's definitely going to be the person in McDonald's, because the occupational hazards of being on the street is you're going to get stabbed, you're going to lose a parcel. You might not get stabbed, but people are going to hate on you.
You're still going to pay.
You're going to go to jail. You're going to lose parcels. People are going to rob you. You're going to go to jail, and then you're going to have to start again. You work in McDonald's after 20 years, you've gone through £500,000.
I'd say the only crime that does pay is white collar crime, like like business, like fraud and stuff like that.
Yeah, but we us as a country forget that we don't profit off crime.
No.
Who profits off crime? The police, prosecution, barristers, solicitors, judges, Argos, DFS.
They're taking all the cut out.
Probation. Because you know yourself, DFS sofas and SCS sofas are made in jail.
Yeah.
Do you know? It's
I
just,
didn't know that actually, no.
just slave.
That's
just
why they keep
slave
the drug war.
drivers.
That's why they keep the drug war going. It's just massive amount of money they can make.
Exactly. Jail is a business. Crime
I didn't
is
know
a
the
business.
sofas were made there though.
Loads of different stuff. Loads of things are assembled for Argos.
When you get out, don't you get a discount? Don't you get like an Argos card?
Not at all. Not at all. But we all know that crime is a business because it keeps people in jobs.
Yeah.
I think it's like one of the biggest employers in the world is the justice system, especially in America.
Exactly. My barrister's just come back from America. He went over there to see how the justice systems worked.
China and India have got like 100 engineers to every lawyer, and America's got like 100 lawyers for every engineer.
It's just a big cattle market in America though. They just want to keep you in, really. They'll let you out on tax and everything, but they just want you back in because they get paid money for you doing
so
that,
you just
don't
got
they?
back 50,000 a year to the jail. Yeah. So how easy is it then to just pull out of that lifestyle?
It's not easy, but do you know, I had to put my family first. So it was easier for me because I wasn't allowed in Manchester.
Yeah.
If I was allowed in Manchester,
You'd have been mixing with it.
It would have been, yeah. But I had a non-association list. Like 50 people I wasn't allowed to associate. You know, and I was always high risk to known adults.
But you must want to stay out of the lifestyle too, because
Yeah.
I mean, you come to Liverpool, you know for the fact if you want to click up, you can get up to mischief.
Yeah, I had people in Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not. I made a promise that I wouldn't go back to jail, and to this day, I've not been back to jail.
That's good.
And I don't commit crime. Do you know? I go around schools, I do motivational speaking, I try to empower kids not to follow the road that I won't go down, because that road, it's not glamorous. There's nothing glamorous. The only glamorous thing about being in a gang in England is when your mum or dad give you the funeral you deserve. Not your mates, because your mates get a T-shirt saying "Rest in peace, Darryl."
Yeah.
When that faded, the memories fades. They haven't got the decency to buy suits. So there's nothing glamorous about being in a gang.
They do go funerals in jeans, don't they, and wearing them T-shirts.
Yeah. You know what? And when they fade out, they just throw them away.
It's terrible, that.
They don't give your mum, your dad any money towards a funeral.
From the questions the kids ask as well, it's like so smart these days. They got all this education off the internet. Do they surprise you with the things they ask you? What kind of stuff do they ask you?
They ask me anything. Do you ever murdered anything? They ask me, did you bend down for the soap?
I can ask that one.
When they ask them, do you bend down for the soap? I say, I use shower gel.
Yeah.
But yeah, they ask you everything. Is it safe to stab someone in the bum? And like I say to them, it's not safe to stab anybody anywhere. You got arteries from your head to your toe, and I put like a diagram on there.
You got
the
more
body.
arteries in your arsehole than anywhere else. If anything, it's more dangerous.
Exactly. But you got arteries up and down your body. And I tell him about a friend of mine I lost in 1997. He was kidnapped and robbed, and he was stabbed in his ankle, and he died. You know, people think it's safe to stab anywhere, but anywhere you can bleed, you can die. You might be a haemophiliac with no clotting agents. So there's no safe place to stab people. And I tell these kids, don't be stabbing people for your mates, because they're not going to do it for them. If they go out and stab somebody, doing it for themselves. They're not doing it because you got stabbed. They're doing it because they want to do it. Do you know?
They need to learn to fight, don't they?
We need to learn to live in peace more than anything.
Yeah, but if they are going to have a beef, you use the fists.
Get a pair of gloves on.
Yeah.
Call someone else, one of the elders. We can sort out a boxing ring and things like that. I'm trying to get kids to stop that mindset.
And then once it's done, bury it.
Yeah,
Don't continue it.
I'm trying to get kids into the boxing ring, because I got people who box and people who fight. Do MMA fighting. I got a mate called Andrew Devent, who used to be kind of like my rival, but now we come together and he's willing to train kids for free.
Well, if you've got people like that in your corner, the kids should be crying out loud for it. They should be coming in.
It's like I've worked with over 150,000 kids, 160,000. I've done 2,000, not last week, the week before. And I don't get no government funding. The only people who fund me is the people who own this company, twins, who are my mates. They come from the road.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're the ones that look after me. They're the ones that make me be able to go to these places, because I couldn't go otherwise.
Well, they should pay you to go to school, surely.
I know, but some schools will pay. But whilst they're waiting to go through the red tape and all that, there's kids getting killed every day. I'm not waiting for that, so I'd rather go off my own back. And then if something comes along, it comes along. But I know that the twins are always going to look after me.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And what is it that Twins does?
The twins, they sell clothing and hats. But
So we could put a link in under this video for Twins. To help support what you're doing.
Yeah, they sell clothing and hats, but they come from the streets like me. They left school at a young age. I'm not going to go too much into their business, but now they sell hats and clothing. They started with 6 hats, and now it's a decent business. And they don't just support me, they support a lot of worthy causes around the world. So, yeah.
So if you want to support what Darryl's doing, we're going to have a link in the description box below this video for Twins. How hard is it to get a kid to give that up lifestyle and then do boxing or something?
It is hard, but it's possible. My success rate is good. But you know what it is? When I tell the kids the real truth, the deep down truth that we won't go into here today, and I tell the truth about, you know someone shooting somebody at your mum's funeral.
Yeah.
And this all happened because of the choices I made from a very young age. If I didn't make them choices, that wouldn't have happened. But also, if I didn't make them choices, the dynamics of life wouldn't have brought us into contact. So it's all about dynamics and choosing the right friends and the right places to go and associate.
Do you have regrets? I personally don't.
I don't have regrets. A lot of people say I'm a bully, I'm a big-headed, because I don't have regrets. And the only reason I don't have regrets is because it's made me the person I am today.
Yeah.
And I'm a very nice person. I'm always giving. Every day I do something. Like when I leave here tonight, I'm going back to Manchester. And when I get back to Manchester, I'm going to be on the homeless, feeding the homeless tonight. So I do something. I try and do a good deed every day, and I don't have no regrets. I do nothing but good. Obviously, there's people I do not talk to, but I don't do no bad to them.
No.
I don't carry no hate in my heart, and that's mostly why I've survived. Who else do you know gets shot 20 odd times and survives?
Someone looking out for you.
One occasion, I shot once on 2 occasions, stabbed 7 times. Who else?
You've definitely got someone looking out for you.
Who else do you know that's been arrested for numerous murders and been cleared of one and not charged with no others? Even though I'm not saying I was involved, but there's certain murders where people say that I was involved, but obviously I was sent to this earth as a vessel to pass my message on to help others. You know, by no means am I a murderer. By no means am I a violent man. I'm here, I live peaceful and so on. I don't promote no violence whatsoever. I've done what I've done in the past and I leave the past in the past and I hope everybody else can.
And you've been out of trouble a few years. I've been out of trouble since, when did we get home?
10 years.
So I've been out of trouble for 10 years, yeah.
So to kids watching this who carry knives, what do you say to them?
There's nothing good about carrying knives. Nobody gives you the right to stab anybody. Nobody gives anybody the right to stab you. Nobody gives you the right not to be able to walk in a postcode. You walk wherever you want. And if anybody pulls out a knife on you, turn the other cheek. Don't try attack him. Always turn it away. And a lot of kids are dying through people trying to rob them of the phones, of the cameras, of the iPods. If someone pulls out a knife on you, give them your iPod, give them your phone, give them your trousers, whatever they ask for you, because you only get one life. You get 100 pairs of trousers, you get 100 phones. The material things, do not give up at or whatever.
They say fight or flight, don't they? But I'd say personally, just, you know, you can't fight against a knife. Just flight, just run away, give them what they want. No point in arguing over it.
Back in the day, I would have fought someone with a knife. But nowadays, the way these people are going around stabbing people and killing people, they've got no value for life.
They get you from behind your back, though.
Kids need
They've got no morals, have they?
Kids need to value life. And I always write hashtag your life matters. The last few weeks I've been saying your life matters because it matters to me. When I'm going in to see a kid, they mean something to me. They're keeping me on the straight and narrow. You know, so I want them to respect themselves and value their own lives.
Should get some promotional t-shirts with that on.
Your life matters.
Yeah.
I will do when I get some dough.
So I thought I was going in to teach the kids, but then I found out that they were teaching me about me. Have you found out that?
Yeah.
Psychologically?
Yeah, kids, you learn something new about yourself every day. You know, we can go and teach the kids, but this day and age, we're learning from them. They're a lot more advanced than we was when we was younger.
Well, that's a huge, strong note to finish it on about the morals of knife crime. So, man, what a story. Can't even believe you're here and you're fucking alive, man. Darryl, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Yeah, cheers. That was great.
Thanks.